Retirement left me lost at 67. Here's how I found my purpose again. Have you ever had one of those quiet mornings where you sit at the kitchen table, sipping your coffee, and suddenly wonder, what now? You spent decades working, raising a family, showing up every single day. But now the structure is gone. The calendar's clear. And while that may have sounded like a dream at one point, it can feel surprisingly empty. You're not alone in that feeling. A lot of people don't talk about this part of retirement, the part where instead of freedom, it feels like you've lost your sense of direction. When the bob ends, the routines disappear, and the phone stops ringing as often, it's easy to start questioning your value. But let me tell you something important. Retirement isn't the end of your purpose. It's a brand new beginning. You still matter. Your voice still matters. And there's so much more ahead, even if it doesn't look like the life you had before. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 powerful ways to rediscover your purpose after 65. Not abstract ideas, but real, doable things that can reignite that spark inside you. So let's sit down together, like 2 old friends having a real conversation, and talk about what comes next. Let's begin with something that often gets overlooked, letting yourself grieve the change. Yes, even if retirement was your choice, even if you were counting down the days, because the truth is, walking away from something that gave your life structure, meaning, and identity for so many years, that's a loss. And it's okay to feel that. Some mornings you might wake up and feel just adrift. You don't have to rush out the door. Nobody's waiting on you. You start to feel invisible. And maybe you start questioning if your best days are behind you. That's grief talking. And it's a natural part of this transition. But here's what most people don't realize. That feeling doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means you're human. And once that you allow yourself to feel it, really sit with it for a moment, you can begin to move forward. Think of it like this. A chapter just ended, but the book isn't over. And you, my friend, are the author of every page from here on out. Now let's talk about the second shift, the power of curiosity. Not the kind you had when you were 20, rushing into new adventures, but the quiet, wise curiosity that asks, what else could bring me joy now? Maybe you've always loved gardening but never had the time. Maybe you've been curious about painting or woodworking or learning to play an instrument. Maybe you want to learn Spanish or write that book that's been sitting in the back of your mind for years. One of the most common lies we tell ourselves after 65 is that it's too late. But think about this. You're not running out of time. You're just finally getting time back. Time to explore without pressure. Time to learn without deadlines. You don't have to master something to enjoy it. You don't need to be great to get started. I once met a man named Harold. He retired from working in finance and told me, I used to think retirement meant golf and TV, but the day I picked up a paintbrush, something inside me lit up that hadn't been touched in 40 years. He wasn't trying to be the next Picasso. He just wanted to feel alive again. And he did. So ask yourself, what's something you've always wanted to try but never let yourself? What's one small thing that sparks your interest today? It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be yours. And that brings us to something that changes everything. Giving your time to others in a way that feels meaningful. Now, I'm not talking about becoming everyone's unpaid babysitter or errand runner. I mean sharing your wisdom, your experience, your presence in ways that lift others and give you a reason to wake up with purpose. You have something to offer that no one else has. Your story, your resilience, your patience. Volunteering, mentoring, tutoring, helping out at your place of worship or community center. These aren't just acts of kindness. They're acts of purpose. I remember a woman named Joan who volunteered to read to children at her local library. She told me, at first I thought I was just filling time, but those little faces, they reminded me I still matter, that I still have something to give. And she's right. Just because you're not clocking in at a job doesn't mean your contribution stopped. Purpose is often found in connection, in showing up, in letting someone know they're not alone, especially when you know what that feels like. So take a breath. If you felt lost or stuck or unsure since stepping into retirement, that doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're in transition. And transitions can be powerful things when we lean into them with honesty and heart. Now that we've begun to explore the emotional shift and rediscovered how curiosity and service can bring back meaning, let's keep going. There's more ahead. There's something special that starts to happen when you give yourself permission to explore again. When you stop measuring your worth by how busy you are or how productive your days look to the outside world, you begin to see life in a new way. You start asking different questions, questions that matter more now than they ever did before. Questions like, what makes me feel useful? Or, what kind of legacy do I want to leave? That brings us to something that can be truly transformative at this stage in life, reclaiming your voice. After decades of caring for others, whether it was raising kids, supporting a spouse, or managing a career, it's easy to lose sight of your own identity. You spend years being mom, dad, grandma, the boss, the caretaker. But who are you when all those roles fade into the background? This is your chance to find out. Not to reinvent yourself, but to return to yourself. Start small. Maybe that means finally speaking your mind at family dinners, not with anger, but with honesty. Maybe it means writing your story down. Yes, the real one. The one that includes the hard parts, the messy parts, and the beautiful lessons you've earned through all of it. Your voice matters, not just to your family, but to the world around you. Whether it's through writing, speaking, or just sharing your perspective with someone who needs it, using your voice is one of the most powerful ways to reconnect with your purpose. I remember hearing about a man named Ellis, 79 years old. He began writing letters, not emails or texts, but handwritten letters to his grandchildren. He wrote about his childhood, the mistakes he made, the things he wished he'd done differently. And those letters changed everything. They became a family treasure. His words gave his grandchildren something they couldn't get from a textbook or a lecture. They gave them heart. That's what reclaiming your voice can do. It's not about being loud. It's about being real. Now, I want to talk about something a little more personal, healing old wounds. You see, purpose isn't just about what you do out there in the world. It's also about how you feel inside when the house is quiet, and the only voice you hear is your own. A lot of us carry weight from the pain, unspoken regrets, strained relationships, things we never said, or things we wish we could take back. And when life slows down after retirement, all those memories can start bubbling to the surface. But here's the thing, retirement can be more than a break from work. It can be a breakthrough, a time to forgive, to let go, to find peace, not just with others, but with yourself. Maybe there's a family member you have lost touch with. Maybe there's someone you need to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Or maybe you need to forgive yourself for mistakes made, for time lost, for not always getting it right. That's okay. None of us do. One woman I met, her name was Carol, told me something that stuck with me. She said, when I stopped pretending I was fine and finally let myself feel all of it, the grief, the guilt, the forgiveness, I didn't feel broken anymore. I felt free. That's the power of healing. It clears space in your heart for purpose to grow. And now, with that cleared space, you can do something truly beautiful. Create new rhythms. For most of your life, your days were probably ruled by clocks and calendars. Wake up at 6, punch in by 8, pick up the kids, cook dinner, repeat. But now you get to decide how your days unfold. And that's not a burden, it's a gift. Having purpose doesn't mean filling every hour with chores or projects. It means choosing to fill your time with things that make you feel grounded. That could be a morning walk, a daily prayer or meditation, coffee on the porch, journaling before bed. It's about intention, starting each day with a small sense of meaning. I met a retired nurse named Ben who started every day by walking around his block at sunrise. Same route, same time. He said it gave him clarity. When I walk, he told me, I remember who I am beyond the noise. That kind of simple, repeated practice can be more powerful than you think. It creates an anchor, something you can hold on to even when life feels uncertain. So don't feel like you need to build a brand new life from scratch. Just plant one small seed each day, a rhythm, a practice, something that reminds you, I'm still here, I still matter, I still have something to give. You see, purpose after 60 isn't found in a job title or how many hours you're busy. It's found in presence, in connection, in choosing every day to show up for yourself and the world in small but meaningful ways. Let's keep going. There's still more to uncover. By now, you might be feeling something stirring inside, a realization that maybe you haven't lost your purpose at all. Maybe it's just been waiting quietly for you to notice it again. Sometimes it hides in the little things, the way you care for your garden, the drama in helping a neighbor, the pride you feel when your grandchild repeats one of your old sayings. It's there. You just need to pay attention. There's one more shift I want to talk to you about. It's the idea of being open to new relationships. Not just romantic ones, though that's possible too, but friendships, mentors, mentees, neighbors, even the barista who knows your order by heart. Human connection doesn't stop being important when you turn 65. In fact, it becomes even more vital. The truth is, loneliness has a way of creeping in during retirement. People move, routines change, and sometimes it feels like the world starts to shrink. But here's something powerful to remember. You don't have to accept loneliness as part of aging. You still have every right to seek joy in others, in laughter, in stories shared over coffee, in being seen. I knew a man named Walter, 82 years old, who joined a local community choir, not because he had a great voice, but because he missed the sound of people around him. He told me, "I don't even care if I hit the notes. I just like showing up and feeling like I belong somewhere." That's purpose. That's enough. Sometimes we wait for people to come to us, forgetting that we can still reach out. You don't have to wait for someone to knock on your door. Knock on theirs. Pick up the phone, invite someone for a walk. You never know whose life you'll touch, or who's waiting to be touched by yours. Now, as we bring all of this together, I want to leave you with something you can carry with you, a kind of gentle challenge, and it's this: don't shrink yourself to fit into an outdated idea of what retirement is supposed to be. You are not meant to fade quietly into the background. You are meant to keep growing, keep becoming, keep impacting the world around you in ways only you can. Your wisdom is rare, your resilience is hard-earned, and your time is still incredibly valuable. Take a breath. Think back on everything you've come through, all the storms you weathered, all the people you've helped, all the times you got back up when life knocked you down. That strength didn't disappear the day you retired. It's still inside you, and it's still needed. You don't need a big project or a perfect plan. You just need a reason to get up in the morning. And that reason could be as small as a walk with your dog, a letter to a friend, a quiet prayer, or helping someone who's feeling just as lost as you once did. Let's not sugarcoat it. Retirement can be hard. It can feel lonely, uncertain, even disorienting. But it can also be the most liberating chapter of your life if you choose to meet it with curiosity, courage, and kindness toward yourself. So here's what I want you to remember. You are allowed to grieve what's gone, but you're also allowed to be excited for what's next. You are not too old to discover something new, to fall in love with life again, or to surprise even yourself with what you're capable of. You don't have to earn your worth through productivity anymore. You've already earned your place. Now you get to live it fully, deeply, and on your own terms. Let me ask you, what's one small thing you can do this week that would make you feel alive again? One step, one connection, one moment of joy. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If something in this video resonated with you, if you've been feeling lost, or if you found your purpose again in a surprising way, share it. You never know who else is reading and silently thinking, that's exactly how I feel. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more people find this kind of content. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. We're building a community here, a place where your voice matters, your experience is honored, and your future is still full of possibility. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up, for yourself and for others. Here's to finding meaning, to living with purpose, and to reminding the world that growing older doesn't mean growing smaller. It means becoming more of who you really are. Here's to living your best life at any age.